It was late evening when Jack closed his workshop. The city lights flickered above him and the air smelled like oil and burned wires. Jack was a simple human man, an engineer, good with machines, not people. As he turned into the narrow alley, behind his building he heard a sound. A soft cry. Not human. He froze. The cry came again. Small, weak, scared. Jack slowly walked toward the sound. His boots crunched over broken glass and rusted metal. Behind the garbage unit, he found them. A small alien girl no more than 6 or 7 years old in human terms sat beside a shaking, curled-up alien woman. The girl's skin was pale blue. Her big violet eyes were full of tears. She clutched a ragged cloth over her mother. "Please, help," she whispered in a trembling voice. "Please fix my mom. She won't stop shaking." Jack knelt down, slowly, his heart pounding. The woman beside the girl looked barely conscious. Her body twitched, her arms wrapped around her thin chest. Her skin was cracked in some places, as if burned or frozen. Jack removed his jacket and placed it over her shoulders. "What happened?" he asked gently. The girl looked up. She was fine. Then she started shaking after we ran. "From the ship." "What ship?" Jack asked, but the girl only shook her head. He reached to check the alien woman's pulse. It was fast, too fast. Her skin was cold, ice cold, but the night wasn't that cold. "She's freezing," Jack muttered. He looked at the girl. "I'm taking you both to my place. It's nearby." The girl hesitated. "Will you hurt us?" Jack looked her in the eyes. "Never." She nodded slowly. He lifted the mother in his arms. She was light. Too light. The girl followed closely, clutching his sleeve with her small hand. Jack's apartment was messy but warm. Tools and machines lay everywhere. He laid the alien woman on the couch and brought a blanket. The little girl held her mother's hand, whispering softly in her own alien language. Jack made warm tea and offered it to the girl. She drank slowly, still watching her mother. "What's your name?" he asked. "Luma," she said softly. "Her name is Ziri." Jack smiled gently. "I'm Jack." He picked up a small scanner he used on broken machines. Carefully, he ran it over Ziri's body. The screen blinked red. Severe trauma, organ shock, extreme low temperature. He frowned. "She needs help I can't give. I'm not a doctor." Luma's lip trembled. "Then she'll die." Jack stood up fast. "No, not if I can help it." He rushed to the back room, pulled out an old med kit from the war days. Some tools still worked. Suddenly, bang, bang, bang. 3 loud knocks echoed through the door. Jack froze. "Open," said a deep, cold voice. "We are looking for fugitives." Jack stepped to the door and peeked through the small viewer. Outside stood a tall figure in black armor. Its helmet was smooth with no eyes, just sensors. The symbol on its chest glowed faint red. Sector Enforcers. Jack's blood went cold. He opened the door just a crack. "Can I help you?" The figure tilted its head. "We tracked 2 escapees from the refugee transport. 1 adult, 1 juvenile. Have you seen anyone?" Jack kept his face calm. "Just me here, no visitors tonight." The figure paused and scanned him, then stepped back. "If you see them, report immediately," it said. "Hiding them is a crime." "I'll remember that," Jack replied. The door shut, locked, deadbolted. Jack turned around and saw Luma peeking from behind the hallway. Her eyes were wide with fear. "That was him," she whispered. "That's the one who hurt her." Jack's jaw clenched. He walked over and knelt in front of her. "I won't let him hurt her again." Luma looked at him with trembling lips. "Promise?" she asked. Jack nodded. "I promise." But deep inside, he knew. This was bigger than just helping someone. He had just stepped into something dangerous, something dark, and someone was still watching, from the alley outside. The heater buzzed low in Jack's apartment, but Ziri, the alien mother, was still cold. Too cold. Her body shook under the blankets even though the room was warm. Jack wiped sweat from his forehead. The scanner blinked red again. Her internal temperature was dropping instead of rising. "This isn't normal," he whispered. Luma sat close to her mother, holding her hand tightly. "She's colder than ice," the little girl said in a soft, broken voice. "She wasn't like this before. After we ran, she started shaking." Jack opened his medical kit. Most of the tools were old. A few injections might help, but he didn't know how alien biology would react. "Do you know what species she is?" Jack asked carefully. Luma shook her head. "We don't use names like that, just people. We were on a ship, a big one. They called it a refugee center, but it was full of fear." Jack paused. "Fear?" Luma's hands trembled. "Some nights soldiers would take people away. They said it was for medical checks, but they never came back." Jack's heart dropped. "Your mom? Was she one of them?" Luma nodded slowly. "She came back once, but she couldn't speak after that, just cried when no one looked." Jack clenched his jaw. "They tortured her." He looked at her exposed back. There were faint marks, thin lines like burns, stretching from her shoulder to waist, too clean to be random electrical scars. "Whoever did this," Jack whispered. "They weren't helping." Suddenly a small alarm beeped from the scanner. Jack looked. Ziri's heart rate had spiked, dangerously fast. Without waiting, Jack grabbed one of the cooling injectors. It was risky. If it worked, it might slow her system down. If not, it might make things worse. He looked at Luma. "This might help her, but I'm not sure. Your people are different." Luma didn't blink. "Do it. She's slipping away." Jack pressed the injector into her arm. The hiss of the medicine echoed through the quiet room. Seconds passed, then a minute. Ziri's breathing slowed. Jack sighed in relief, but then something else happened. Her skin began to glow. Not bright, but soft, like the inside of her body was reacting to something. "What is that?" Jack asked, stunned. Luma leaned in. "It happens when she's scared. She used to glow before when I had fevers. She calls it sharing heat." Jack's eyes widened. "She's trying to warm you up now?" Luma nodded. Jack looked at the monitor again. Her temperature was still cold, but stabilizing. "She's fighting to live," he whispered. Suddenly the lights flickered, then boom! A small explosion shook the street outside. Jack rushed to the window. Down the block, smoke rose. A hover patrol had crashed into a wall. A group of enforcers ran toward it. Jack narrowed his eyes. Was it an accident or a distraction? He stepped back and locked the windows, turned off the lights. Then he heard it. A sound, soft, slow, slithering, from inside the walls. Jack turned to Luma. "Get under the bed. Now." The girl didn't ask. She obeyed. Jack picked up a metal rod and turned toward the kitchen wall. Panel slid open by itself. A long gray hand reached through it. Not human, not machine, something in between. Jack didn't wait. He slammed the rod down on the hand. The creature hissed and pulled back. Jack sealed the panel fast. "What was that?" Luma asked, peeking from under the bed. Jack didn't answer at first. Then, he said quietly, "They're not just looking from outside, they're in the walls." Luma's voice cracked. "They're not going to stop." Jack sat beside the couch. He looked at Ziri, still glowing faintly, still alive. "No," he said, "but neither am I." The apartment was dark and quiet. Only the sound of Ziri's shallow breathing filled the room. Jack sat with his back against the wall, a metal pipe in one hand, a flashlight in the other. He hadn't slept. He couldn't. Not after the thing reached through the wall. Luma lay curled up beside her mother, one small hand resting on Ziri's glowing skin. Her eyes stayed open. She didn't blink much, like she was too scared to close her eyes. Jack whispered, She's stable for now. That injector bought us time. Luma nodded, her voice low. They'll come again. Jack's jaw clenched. Let them. At sunrise, the world outside seemed calm, but Jack knew better. The doorbell rang. Once. Twice. Then silence. Jack looked. Through the peephole. It wasn't a person. It was a shape. A tall black figure stood at the doorstep. No face. No eyes. Just a smooth helmet and breathing vents. A machine body with a soft red light at its chest. Slowly blinking, the same symbol. Sector Enforcer. Jack's heart pounded. The figure raised its hand and knocked. Not loud. Not urgent. Just... Sure. Jack opened the door just slightly. Morning, he said calmly. The enforcer tilted its head. You were visited last night. Unauthorized thermal readings were detected. Unregistered life forms may be inside. Jack smiled faintly. I burned old wiring. Scorched the whole batch. Check if you want. A long pause. Then the enforcer said, Step aside. Jack didn't move. Do you have a warrant? Silence. Then, refusal noted. It stepped forward, but Jack pressed a button beside the door. Zit! An electrical surge hit the enforcer's foot, just enough to make it stagger back. Jack slammed the door shut and sealed it with 3 bolts. The enforcer didn't leave. Instead, it spoke through the door. Protecting aliens is punishable by exile, imprisonment, or death. Choose carefully, human. Jack stepped back. Inside, Luma was crying softly. She tried not to, but the fear slipped through. Jack knelt beside her. Hey, we're okay. No, we're not, she whispered. That thing, it took my aunt. It said she was sick and needed removal. They never brought her back. Jack felt something cold rise in his chest. They're calling it help, but they're cleaning up survivors, he said. Ziri stirred. Her eyes opened. Just a little. Jack rushed to her side. She tried to speak, but her lips moved slow like every word hurt. He leaned in close. Her voice was dry. They want the children. Jack blinked. What? Ziri struggled. They don't care about the old ones, just young blood, new energy. That's what they drain. Luma gasped. No, she whispered. They were going to take me. Ziri's hand reached weakly toward her daughter. Jack grabbed her hand. You're not dying. Not today. Outside, the door vibrated, not from knocking, from cutting. The enforcer had brought tools. They weren't going to ask again. Jack ran to the back wall. We need to go. But she's too weak, Luma said, panicking. She'll die here if we wait. Jack pulled open the floor panel in the back room, an old tunnel he had used to smuggle parts during the war. Help me carry her, he said. Together, Jack and Luma lifted Ziri carefully. Her skin glowed a soft silver now, not blue. Her breathing slowed, but she nodded faintly. She understood. The last thing Jack did before climbing down the tunnel was press one more button, a soft beep, then silence. The moment the door was cut through, his apartment exploded. The fireball shot into the sky, shattering windows 2 blocks away. Jack didn't look back. He held Luma close and whispered, That thing had no eyes, but now it has no body either. The tunnel air was thick and dry. Dust floated in the flashlight beam as Jack moved quickly, carrying Ziri in his arms. Luma followed behind, her small hands gripping his belt. Each step echoed off the walls. Each breath felt stolen. Behind them, far away now, the sound of the apartment explosion still rang in Jack's ears. It was the only way. They would have taken her. Jack whispered to himself. They would have taken Luma. After half an hour of walking, they reached an old power station beneath the city. It was broken, long forgotten, but Jack had used it before as a hiding spot during tech raids. He set Ziri gently on an old cot and wrapped her in a thermal blanket. Luma sat beside her, brushing her mother's hair. She's still shaking. Jack, check the scanner again, No heart spikes, no fever. But Ziri still wasn't talking. Maybe the damage is deeper, Jack muttered. Then he noticed something on Ziri's collar, a small, cracked metal disc glowing faintly. Jack picked it up. A personal translator, he said. It's broken. Jack took it to his workbench and opened it with a tool. Inside, the wires were melted and some circuits fused together. This is why she can't speak, he told Luma. Even if she tries, her words come out wrong. Can you fix it? Luma asked. I'll try, he said. He worked fast, his hands steady, even though his mind was racing. Why were sector enforcers targeting refugees? Why the children? As he adjusted the microchip, the translator sparked, then hissed. Dead again. Jack groaned. I need parts I don't have. Luma sat, quietly. Then she stood and reached into her small bag. She pulled out something round, another device smaller than the translator. What's that? Jack asked. It was my brother's, Luma said. He didn't survive. But maybe it has what you need. Jack took the device gently. I'm sorry, Luma. She nodded, eyes full of quiet pain. He would have helped if he were here. Jack removed the chip from the boy's device and fused it into Ziri's translator. Sparks flew again, but this time the screen turned green. He rushed to Ziri and clipped the device back to her collar. Ziri, he said softly. Her lips parted. At first, just a whisper. Then clearer. You saved us. Jack exhaled in relief. It's working. Ziri tried to sit up, but Jack stopped her gently. Not yet, you need rest, but you need to tell me. Who's hunting you? Why the children? Ziri coughed. Her voice was weak, but the translator made every word clear. They came to help, at first. Food, shelter, a safe ship. But soon, they wanted our blood, our heat. The young have more energy. They're harvesting you? Jack asked in horror. She nodded. Our bodies recharge fast. They found a way to drain it. It kills us slowly. And Luma, Jack looked at the girl. She's strong, pure. That's why they chased us. Jack stood. They won't get her. Not while I'm breathing. Suddenly the power flickered. All the lights dimmed. Ziri gasped. They found us. Jack grabbed his tools and ran to the control panel. His eyes widened. A signal was pinging on their location. A tracking device. He turned to Ziri. Is there anything on you they could have tagged? Ziri trembled. No. Wait. She pulled back her sleeve. There, on her arm, was a small metal square buried under her skin. A hidden tracker. They planted this during the medical check, she said in disgust. Jack didn't hesitate. He grabbed a sterilizer, heated a blade, and said gently, This is going to hurt, but it'll save your life. Luma held her mother's hand tightly. Jack cut quickly, carefully removing the device and smashing it under his boot. The lights stopped flickering. Signal's gone, Jack said. But then, a faint beep echoed from his scanner. Jack looked down. Another signal. Luma. His eyes met hers. They put one in you too, he said quietly. The little girl's face went pale. They're tracking both of you, Jack whispered. Ziri's voice shook. We're not safe, not anywhere. Jack looked at them, then at his hands. I know someone, off-world, a smuggler. He owes me. Ziri's eyes widened. You want to take us off this planet? Jack nodded. It's the only way. He turned to the shadows. They're not just hunting refugees anymore. They're hunting children for power. And someone needs to stop them. Jack had flown small ships before. He had rebuilt engines, hacked flight routes, and once smuggled weapons right under the Empire's nose. But this time it was different. He wasn't smuggling machines. He was trying to smuggle hope. Ziri and Luma sat quietly inside the old cargo shuttle. Hidden in a shielded compartment Jack had refitted overnight. The stolen coolant system buzzed gently, keeping Ziri's temperature stable. Jack sat in the pilot seat staring at the skies through the cracked cockpit window. Come on, old girl, he muttered to the ship. Just one more trip. They didn't have time. The government scanners were catching refugees all across the district. The news called it cleaning zones. Jack called it hunting. He punched in coordinates. He knew a place, high in the icy clouds of a frozen moon. A friend owed him a favor. The problem? Getting there meant flying through sector-controlled skies. Estimated travel 3 hours, said the onboard AI. Too long. Suddenly, a soft beep echoed from the ship's back compartment. Jack rushed back. Ziri was burning again. But this time, it wasn't just a fever. The glow from her body lit the entire room. Her veins pulsed with silver light. Her skin steamed. Even the metal bed beneath her was heating. Jack grabbed the scanner. She's not reacting to heat anymore. She's generating it, like a reactor. Ziri opened her eyes, barely able to speak. I'm sorry. This is what happens. When we're dying. Jack froze. Her body is releasing everything it has left, he said. It's like a star. Going supernova. Luma knelt beside her mother, tears in her eyes. She's trying to protect me, the girl whispered. She's using her last warmth to keep me alive. No, Jack said firmly. She's not dying today. He rushed to the engine room, pulled wires, rerouted power. He had an idea. If he could connect Ziri's burning energy to the ship's core, maybe, just maybe, it could keep both her and the ship alive. He wired her bed to the energy stabilizer. One wrong move and the whole ship would melt. Are you crazy? The ship's AI warned. Yes, Jack said. Shut up and run the link. The ship groaned. Metal bent. Lights flickered. But it worked. The temperature balanced. Ziri's breathing steadied. Her glow dimmed. Controlled now. She's stabilizing, Jack whispered, amazed. Ziri looked at him, a weak smile on her face. You made me part of the ship. You're saving all of us, Jack said. Suddenly, alert. Red lights flashed across the cockpit. Enemy signal detected, the AI said. Jack checked the radar. 2 sector fighters, black, fast, deadly, coming. Straight for them. No cloaking, no weapons, just us. Jack muttered. Perfect. He turned to Luma. Strap in. Hold her hand. This is going to be rough. He ran back to the pilot seat. Manual flight engaged, said the AI. Let's dance, Jack growled. The fighters fired. Jack dove. The sky outside turned blue, then white, then black. Snow clouds ripped apart as the shuttle plunged into a storm. Lightning lit up the sky. Wind shook the ship like a toy. Behind him, Ziri screamed softly, her body reacting to the chaos. She's unstable again, Luma shouted. Jack yelled back. Tell her we need her. Tell her she's not alone. Luma gripped her mother's hand, whispering in her alien tongue. And then, the ship steadied. The glow returned. Brighter than ever. Ziri wasn't fading. She was fighting. With her warmth, Jack powered the boosters, blasting upward through the storm. The fighters lost them in the clouds. One exploded trying to follow. The other gave up. And just like that, they were free. Hours later, Jack landed on a snowy ridge under a purple sky. They had reached the frozen moon. Ziri was asleep, not shaking. Luma curled up beside her, smiling. Jack stepped out into the snow, his breath forming clouds. He looked at the stars above and whispered, She was the storm, but she became our fire. Snow fell like ash across the frozen moon. The small shuttle sat quiet on the ridge, hidden between jagged rocks. Inside, Jack lit a small thermal lamp to keep the cabin warm. Ziri was resting now. No more shaking, no more glowing, just peace. But something still didn't feel right. Jack couldn't sleep. Something Ziri said before had stayed in his mind. They want the children. They drain us. He stared at her sleeping form. Her skin shimmered faintly under the lamp, almost like it was hiding something. Jack frowned. He grabbed his old thermal lens and scanned her shoulder. And there, hidden just beneath her skin, was a strange shape. Not a wound, not a scar, a symbol. He scanned again. The pattern lit up, a circular ring with smaller lines inside. It looked like a code, not just a tattoo. Luma sat up from her spot beside her mother. Her sleepy eyes blinked at Jack. "What are you doing?" "There's something in her skin," Jack said quietly. "I think she's carrying data." "Like a computer?" Luma asked. Jack nodded. "Yes, like a living archive." He gently touched Ziri's shoulder. "I think your mom is carrying something important. Maybe why they were hunting her." Luma looked worried. "She never told me." "She probably didn't know," Jackie replied. Jack opened his toolbox and pulled out a soft bio-reader, a device that could read living memory patterns. He carefully placed it over the glowing shape in Ziri's skin. The screen blinked, downloading. Then, images. Fast, flashing. Underground chambers, children in glass tubes, needles in arms, machines pulling light from skin, enforcers standing nearby, silent and cold. Then, a map. Jack stared. "A facility," he whispered. "It's not just about refugees. They built a lab, hidden on this very moon." Luma covered her mouth. "This moon?" Jack zoomed in on the image. "Coordinates are nearby, 30 miles east." He looked at Luma. "Your mother escaped with this information in her body. That's why they chased her. She's the key." Suddenly, the ship's signal light blinked red. Movement detected. Jack rushed to the console. A small dot moved across the snow, heading toward them. One person. No suit. No heat protection. Just walking through a storm, like they didn't care about the cold. "That's not human," Jack muttered. Ziri woke with a gasp. She clutched her chest. "He found us." "Who?" Jack asked. "The hunter," she whispered. "He doesn't feel cold, he doesn't need to sleep, he follows until we stop." Jack grabbed his weapon. "He's not getting you." He turned to Luma. "Hide in the compartment. Lock it. Stay with your mom." "What about you?" she asked. "I've got a trap to set." Jack exited the shuttle into the howling wind. Snow slapped his face, and visibility was low. He moved fast, setting up motion-triggered charges across the ridge. He knew he couldn't kill this hunter with bullets. But maybe he could slow him down. Then through the snow came a figure, black armor, no helmet. Its face was pale and smooth, no nose, no mouth. Just two glowing holes for eyes. The hunter stopped 20 feet away. "You stole sector property," it said in a voice like static. "Return the vessel, return the data." "She's a person," Jack shouted. "Not a drive." "She is ours." Jack smiled coldly. "Then come get her." The hunter stepped forward. Boom! The first trap exploded, then the second. Snow shot up like white fire. The hunter stumbled but didn't fall. Jack ran back to the ship, heart pounding. He slid inside and sealed the door. Ziri looked up at him, weak but alert. "You can't kill him," she said, "but you can lead him to the truth." Jack opened the data file again and transferred it into a signal flare. "You're right," he said. "If they want to hide this truth, then let's make it public." He launched the flare. It screamed into the sky, flashing the whole archive. In the open satellite channel, across the galaxy, ships picked up the signal. The secret wasn't secret anymore. The hunter stopped outside and did not move again. The sky above the frozen moon burned with light. Jack's signal flare had done its job. Data stolen from Ziri's body now flashed across the stars. Every nearby colony, every smuggler ship, every hidden resistance cell, they all saw the truth. Children drained, parents tortured. A secret, facility built on pain. No more lies, no more silence. Inside the shuttle, Ziri sat up slowly. She was pale, weak, but for the first time not shaking. Luma held her tightly, smiling through tears. "You're warm again." Ziri whispered. It's gone. The cold. The fear. It's gone. Jack looked at them and smiled. Not gone, Ziri. Just finally shared with the right people. But it wasn't over yet. Outside, the hunter still stood. The snowstorm had stopped. The air was still. The creature hadn't moved for minutes. Then, it took one slow step forward. Another. Jack stood between it and the shuttle. His weapon was ready, but he knew it wouldn't be enough. The hunter raised one hand. You have broken protocol. You have exposed the sector. You are now marked for deletion. Jack didn't flinch. Funny. I was just about to say the same to you. Suddenly, a sound in the sky. Not the wind, engines, ships, dozens, big ones, small ones, civilian freighters, rebel crafts, even old battle cruisers long thought destroyed. One by one, they hovered in the air above the ridge. Then a voice echoed from the lead ship. To the creature below, step away from the human and the refugees. You are now outnumbered and outgunned. The hunter turned its head to the sky. It paused. Then, without a word, it walked away, disappearing into the snow. Jack exhaled. He dropped to one knee. Luma ran up and hugged him tight. You saved her, Ziri. Standing with help from the door, looked at Jack. Her eyes glistened. You gave up everything, she said. Jack smiled. Some things are worth more than comfort. The rebel ship landed and a tall woman in a tattered captain's coat stepped out. You're the one who lit the flare? She asked. Jack nodded. And that's the woman who carried the truth inside her. Risked her life to protect it. The captain looked at Ziri and then at Luma. Come, she said. You have a home now, you all do. As the shuttle lifted into the air, Jack looked out the window. The frozen moon below grew smaller and smaller, until it was just a memory, cold, cruel, and left behind. Ziri held Luma close. Jack sat across from them. He felt tired. But he also felt something else. Peace. Ziri looked at him and whispered, You were our warmth in the cold, our fire in the dark. Jack looked at Luma, whose small hand had reached out to grab his, and he realized he wasn't just their rescuer. He was their lifeline.